श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। सद्गुरु श्री साईनाथ निशरत बाबूजी की जय। RosePetals, Volume 2, Chapter 5, Niyama. Devotee. Guruji, I have heard it said that consistency or constancy in action, assuming that the action is good, is of more value than one good or great act. Guruji. Yes, that is what people call Niyama. Devotee. So, what is the value of having a specific Niyama? Guruji. It doesn't allow you to be cheated by your own mind because it keeps you to the goal, to the purpose, so you are more oriented towards your goal. The mind is always changing or wavering. Today, satsang, but today I feel like sitting at home in meditation. I don't want to go out now and extrovert my mind and sit in a group of people smelling their sweat and things like that. No, I don't want to do it. I want to sit at home and introvert my mind. First, it starts like that. The second day, our resolve loses some more strength. It is a trick of the mind to avoid going to satsang. It begins with a noble thing so that the mind will be easily convinced so that it feels justified. Then the next day the person sleeps. The third day he goes to a movie. The fourth day he goes and chit-chats. Where is satsang? It's gone. And it's like that with everything. So a niyama won't allow the mind to cheat you. Cheating what? Cheating you of your own fulfillment, taking you away from the goal. These are the tricks of the mind. Unless or until you are in the perpetual state of satsang, a niyama is needed. Regularity and sticking to that whatever happens. Niyama means what you are supposed to do, a regulation. Devotee. It's like commandments or a code of conduct. Guruji. Yes, it is a kind of code of conduct. That is the definition which is given in the Yoga Sastras. Devotee. To follow these niyamas, doesn't one need to be able to discriminate and also to be able to choose? Guruji. That is why I always tell you to first have a goal, an object of love. All that we have to do, the whole thing, is to focus on our object of love. What are the things that we have to do in order to keep the focus focused? These you have to choose. And what are the things we should not do which distract the focus? For this, you should have discrimination. No scripture is needed to tell you what to do and what not to do. You know because it is your experience. Devotee. You mean it comes from love rather than from a sense of discipline? Guruji. Yes, from love. Then it doesn't seem like rules or commandments. It's not like that. If I simply asked you, in the morning, walk from that wall to this wall 10 times, and you don't know why you are doing it, but you have to do it anyway, then it would be a commandment. But here you have to choose, to discriminate every minute. Is this helping me to focus on my object of love or not? Is this helping to concretize my abstract sense of fulfillment or not? We should always be discerning that. In 1971, when I first met my master, he said, "Take charge of the satsang." It meant just arranging the room and Baba's photos. They were in the cupboard and needed to be taken out and garlanded. That was the simple satsang. He said, "You should be the in charge." I did it every Thursday for 6 years except those days which I spent in Pundi. That is a niyama. I didn't miss doing it, not even once. If floods were expected, I used to go earlier at 5 o'clock and take a raft and then reach Vidyanagar. If there was a storm or a cyclone and no buses were running, I used to walk. Even if I had a fever of 104 or 105 degrees, I would go. What will happen? I will die, that's all. Will anything more happen? No. So go. In 6 years, I didn't miss even once. After I moved to Venkatgiri, in the beginning I still used to go every Thursday to Vidyanagar and do the satsang until Master relieved me of that. He said, "No, no, you don't need to come anymore. Now do the satsang in Venkatgiri." So I started in Venkatgiri and continued it there, and I didn't miss it even once. If I have taken up something, no question, I would think, is there anything more that could happen than death? Then be prepared for that. Nothing will happen if you take it up. Otherwise, don't take it up. I never thought, what will I gain by that? Why should I do it? Am I getting any spiritual benefit taking the trouble of walking all the way from Kota to Vidyanagar? As I was not residing in Vidyanagar, I had to walk about 6 kilometers even in the night. What I gained or I did not gain, I never thought of all those things. If you do it, just do it. That's all. If the mind ever tried to trick me, I would do two things. If I had resolved to get up at 3 o'clock and take a bath in the cold winter, sometimes the thought would come, 3 o'clock, it's cold, very cold, and oh, I have to get up. When that thought came to the mind, I said, "Oh, now you are trying to trick me. Come on then." Next day, what I used to do was, I put some water in an earthen storage pot and kept it there, which made it very cold, and then I got up even earlier at 2:45 a.m. and used that water, that cold, freezing water, for my bath. Next time, the mind didn't even dare to think that thought. Even the thought wouldn't come to me because it knows what I would do. People used to think I was crazy, getting up at 3 o'clock, then taking water from the pot. Devotee: did it feel like an effort? Guruji: the effort was only not to let my mind trick me, immediately punishing it, that's all. And after some time, it didn't even try to trick me. Today I missed the bus to Vidyanagar. Okay, so I'll go tomorrow. When that thought came, that day I would walk twice from Vidyanagar to Kota. Aha, so you are depending on a bus? Come on, I'll see your end. Devotee: and that treatment worked on the mind? Guruji: yes, it will definitely work. Why won't it work? Devotee: like training a separate being. Guruji: whatever you call it. I didn't think of all those things. I was only concerned about not being tricked. Other people may trick me, but what's the point of me tricking myself? Self-trickery, at least I can stop that. Of course, I don't want to tell you all this because it is too scary for you. You need not do all these things. Devotee: you're saying there was no effort in those days? For example, when the bus didn't come or there was a storm? Guruji: there was effort, but only the effort not to be cheated by the mind. Only that to that extent. There was no doubt about the Niyama or its value or whether to keep it up. The examples I gave you were for not allowing the mind to trick you, that's all. Only that much effort. Devotee: but the motive then was to not break your commitment? Guruji: it was not only towards the Niyama. It was also like that in all other respects, not allowing the mind to trick me. With the Niyama, it becomes clear because we have a reference point, we know where it is tricking us. Otherwise, we do not know. We are tricked by our own mind. We don't need anybody else to trick us, to exploit us, to deceive us. We are capable of doing it ourselves. Devotee: Guruji, how did you know that keeping up that niyama would take you to your goal? Guruji: I did not know. Devotee: but you must have known. Otherwise, why would you keep it up? Guruji: no, I simply thought my Guru has given me a responsibility. I took it as a blessing and then I did it. That's all. That itself will take me to the goal. Doing anything connected to Baba will definitely take me to the goal. How it takes me, I don't bother about it. That is his botheration. Why should I bother about it? If it is not sufficient, that is his fault. It is not my fault. I'll do it, that's all. Devotee. In a satsang recently, somebody asked, how did you get the contentment which you are experiencing now? And you said, I prayed to Baba and did what I had to do. But how did you know what you had to do? Guruji. There was no choice for me in what I had to do. I had to focus on Baba, that's all. That is what I had to do. When you have to do something, there is no choice. I didn't have any choice. I had to do it. Devotee. You mean you couldn't not do it? Guruji. What else could I do? I tried to do other things, but somehow I realized that my mind was not clinging to them. Devotee. Guruji, you said that our efforts to overcome our conditioning come from that conditioning and so are themselves conditioned. Most people who attempt forms of self discipline are only temporarily successful in achieving their goal. So I'm wondering, in relation to your experience of successfully holding to a niyama, how were you able to do it? It seems so extraordinary. Guruji. This niyama was not springing from my patterns or my background. Many people do it as a part of their family tradition or customs, but I wasn't following any customs before. No niyama or nothing. My family background was not at all pious, spiritual, or religious, so it was not part of my conditioning. It was simply that by following it, I experienced it was helpful in giving me more and more clarity about my goal to reach my goal. In other words, I experienced it as helpful, so I did it. That is why I say, don't set a goal. Many people make the mistake of setting up goals rather than realizing the goal, experiencing the goal, seeing what their need is. That is why I always ask you to know your need. Setting up a goal is different from realizing it. Devotee. Was it the fact of keeping the niyama itself that you experienced as helping you towards the goal? Guruji. I didn't try to keep it up. It was not keeping up something. It happened spontaneously. It became a part of the whole thing. Devotee. Where do we get the strength to hold a niyama? Because with our tendencies, we are so weak that we just follow wherever the mind takes us. Guruji. I don't know where from, but I think that it is from our desire to reach the goal. Only that can give the strength. Devotee. So that actually shows where we are? Guruji. Yes. That's why I never believe what people say. I always take what they do. Devotee. But for you, there was a direct connection between keeping that niyama and reaching your goal. It was obvious to you that by keeping that niyama, it would help you towards your goal. Guruji. Yes, that is called niyama. Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki jai. Sadguru Shri Sainath Vanisharat Babuji ki jai.